Oh boy, some internet drama that I can actually talk about since it's Japan adjacent. Hell yeah. Guys, I had to pull out the goatee for this. We call this a porn donut in Norway. You know, pornosmultring. Because of how everyone in the 80s in those movies, you know, wore this shit. And it's around like a donut. So, you know, there you go. Learned something new today. I'll assume that most of you know who Chris Broad is from abroad in Japan. But I'm gonna give you a little backstory anyways. Arguably, he's one of the biggest and best Japan-focused channels on YouTube. I watched him way back when I was sitting in Doyet in northeast Thailand, sipping on a nice bia chang, and, you know, eating some nice lap mo, sawati kap, katoi chamai kap. You know, way before I even moved to Japan. This man has been on YouTube forever. How long has he been on? Since 2012. Man, doesn't that feel like generations ago. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and glaze good old Chris here too much for what he's done on YouTube. You know, I like his content, okay? Nothing wrong with that. Because the only glaze I like is on top of a nice and hot cinnamon bun. Ha ha ha, self-burn fat joke. Apparently Chris, the least inflammatory and least drama-active YouTuber I've ever seen. You know how most YouTubers, they like to inject themselves into drama, you know, for the clout? And he has gotten himself into quite a bit of a bind by saying some things about Mr. Beast, YouTube's beloved superstar, with absolutely no skeletons in his closet and eyes extremely full of life, so vibrant and not dead at all. For those of you who are blissfully unknowing about Mr. Beast and who he is, here are some highlights. He does a lot of philanthropy on camera, makes wacky game shows and challenges, and has the most subscribers and highest view count of any single YouTuber on the whole platform. Also, he allegedly hired some guy knowing he had been busted for diddling kids, faking his videos, rigging the challenges, and having unsafe conditions for participants in these challenges. Allegedly. Oh god, looking at these thumbnails, I'm now realizing the tweet I popped a few months back. Chris Broad is kinda like the Mr. Beast for Japan content or something like that. I didn't mean it that way, Chris. I meant it as in, Chris here has certainly amped up the wackiness in his thumbnails in recent years, like Mr. Beast. Look at this, this Torigate is a transparent PNG just jammed into the background. It's not there in real life, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to keep Tokyo Creative happy about your view count, eh Chris? I shouldn't really say anything though. I literally soy face in my thumbnails and I also jam PNGs in there too. It's all part of the game, we're all YouTubers, right? Of varying success. Anyways, let's get into it.
I mean, anyone that thinks Mr. Beast is about anything other than making himself the richest YouTuber in the world has missed something. I had a call with his manager, Reed, a year or two ago.
Yeah.
And he was nice enough, but they were very much like, how can you make us more money? And I was like, I mean, I like to make videos that are fun and educational. And like, yeah, but money. Money, money, money. That's all we care about. I mean, is this all YouTube is now?
Yeah,
is it all just money?
Yeah,
is
well, mostly, yeah, mostly.
First of all, I agree with what he's saying here. But I gotta say, everyone likes money. If the worst company or organization in the world, just think of the worst organization or company in the world, if they came knocking on my email door, telling me they will sponsor all my videos that I make on my channel forever and give me $25,000 a month for it, I would slowly go down on my knees, unzip for them and say, yes, daddy. But that is because of the financial situation I'm in right now. If I was already getting a good income for passion-driven content, it would be so easy to tell them to fuck off. What I've seen people say online about this is that, well, Chris and Connor are super famous and have lots of money. How can they shame Mr. Beast for wanting money too? It all comes down to the motivation behind the content, in my opinion. Chris is one of the few YouTubers who seems to have a legitimate passion for what he does and genuinely wants to educate, inform, and share Japan with the world. Just like me, but on a microscopic scale in comparison. It's like in the high school showers, he's Captain Hung and I'm Sergeant Baby Dick. It's very easy to say it shouldn't be about the money when you already have money, and I can understand people reacting to this in a bad way. But it's simply how YouTube has become. It's less about passion, more about pushing out drivel to earn money.
He teamed up with Logan Paul, and that tells you what you need to know. Literally, he teamed up with Logan Paul, the biggest, can I say the C word?
Yeah.
Like, biggest f***ing there is, right? I mean, everybody seems to have forgotten what a massive Logan Paul is.
Well, I mean, no,
right?
it's back.
If he's not filming somebody who's recently taken their own life, literally hanging from a tree in the forest and making it about themselves, somebody who has exploited their viewers through cryptocurrency scams, somebody who's I saw a video of him like pushing his own dog off a boat the other day.
Ah, yes, my favorite curse word. It's muted in the video because it demonetizes any video on YouTube, and this particular video that I ripped out of YouTube, I had it muted. Apparently YouTube views it as something that is derogatory to women, so I'm not gonna say it here, but it rhymes with punt, and all of Great Britain, Australia and New Zealand loves the word just as much as I do. I've shown you some clips on this channel about Logan Paul before in his crazy vlogs in Japan, where he's literally just on a disrespecting tour across this country, and you know, just being a plain old menace. And of course the behavior he had here at that time spawned idiots like Johnny Somali and other people who come here to give foreigners who live here kind of a bad rep. I'm sorry guys, I'm a millennial who grew up on the internet back when it was a lawless wasteland, so I'm gonna pull out a word from my pocket that is seen as not very good these days. Don't worry, it does not start with an N. Logan Paul has to be fucking retarded if he thinks that any of us foreigners who lived here in Japan during the whole thing with the Aokigahara and everything, when he did that, he needs to be fucking retarded if he thinks that we're just gonna forget that shit. How he made what happened to that poor guy into content and being about himself. Absolutely disgusting human behavior. Jesus Christ, fucking retard. That's the last time I'm saying it. Thank you guys. How can that even be like your first thought? You must be so content-brained. You go into a forest, some guy hangs there, and you're like, oh god, I think someone's hanging there. Holy shit. And you make it about your content. Ew. That's some ultra brain rot and just plain fucking disgusting.
Here's the dilemma. Like, it's one of those things. On the one hand, brilliant. He, you know, helped kids deal with blindness, which is really great. I kind of, you can picture the meeting, having met his manager and talked to people behind it. You can picture that meeting, how it went in a room in North Carolina. We need to make more money. The team's got bigger. We need to increase our revenue by like 10%. Who's got some awesome ideas out here? And they went, oh, what if we do bomb a truck and throw a train off a cliff? We'll do it. Any others? Oh, cure blindness. We could like cure 100 kids blindness. And that's the one. That's going to get the headlines. And that is how it's not like he read an article and went, man, this issue is really bad. If we could make a documentary covering this topic about blindness that could be cured, that's the way to tackle it. A man in his position with billion subscribers, whatever it is, 300 million, can make a really well-made documentary. He could cure blindness in 100 kids and still have the click-through rate that he demands, and actually cover the subject in a serious matter. And yet, it was not that. It was, cure the blindness, done, got my money, here's the sponsor, well, hey, done. Money, sorted, go.
I might sound like a bit of a dick here, because he still does the philanthropy and, you know, helps people, but you shouldn't be sitting around being like, yeah, blind kids in Africa, they'll pull views for sure. Oh shit, a tsunami just hit Asia. We gotta get on that real quick, it's trending. You should be doing these things if you actually care about them and you're passionate about them and you want to help. And as Chris said, you know, you can make a nice, dignified documentary about it, not just, I'm here in the middle of Somalia and I'm about to give people some new legs. Of course, some people do it just so they can feel better about themselves and, you know, brag about it to other people. That's also kind of shitty behavior in my opinion, but I understand that it happens. Profiting off of it might seem like a win-win, but it feels kind of shitty to me, you know? Intent matters, guys, when you're doing I'm
a full-on rapist, you know? Africans, dyslexics, children, that sort of thing.
Anyways, Chris was right, and that's all I gotta say about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Japan content like this, please subscribe down there, click like on your way up, and check out the Patreon and memberships if you want to support the channel and content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you to all current patrons and members. You guys are...
Money, money, money. That's all we care about.